This is Becky Ivans, and they were parked next to us and with her family. And I reached out to the social network and Facebook and asked people, what would you like to know about a family who full-time RV? So I got a list of questions I'm asking that people want to know. We're Dave and Karen from Wax on Wheels, and we sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, our 2 Can-Am motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we post a new video. So the first one I want to know is just tell us about your family. Who lives in your rig?
We're a family of 5, my husband and myself and our 3 children. I've got a daughter who's 14, a daughter who's almost 12, and a son who's 9, and then a pile of pets.
Yeah, we have
A Rottweiler, a Chihuahua, a rescue mix, Shih Tzu type thing, and a cat.
in the Shih Tzu mix thing you got out in the desert.
Yes, in Arizona.
Yep.
Do you want me to tell that story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It was, we were at a campground out in the desert that was surrounded by nothing but desert, and this little dog kept coming in through a hole in the fence and was terrified of everybody, but and they called all the Humane Society to come get her. Nobody could catch her. So my middle daughter kept, throwing food to her, and then after a couple weeks of that, she would just sit quietly and throw food, and the dog came up and climbed in her lap, and we've had her almost a year now.
That's awesome.
And she's a really happy, good dog.
Oh, I know. I see her walk out. Her little tail is just going, and she just runs everywhere. Like, oh, here.
Yeah, she's such a happy dog.
Well, tell us about your setup. I know you have a full toy hauler.
Yes.
So where does everybody go? What's your setup like?
So the front of the toy hauler is a master bedroom. We have a king-size bed, and then next is the bathroom, and then we have the living area, which we specifically picked this toy hauler because it has an L-shaped couch and then another love seat over here, so all 5 of us can sit and watch movies and have family night. Mm-hmm. And then the kitchen. Above the kitchen is a loft where my son sleeps, and then in the back room is where they keep all their stuff. So we have Tupperwares with arts and crafts stuff and toys, and then we have a kitchen table where they sit and do their homeschooling, and then above that they have bunks, and then they have their own TV up in their bed. And
so you don't have to undo a bed in the living room every night?
No, not every night. The only time we have to do anything is when we move. We have to raise their beds up and turn all the toys so that we can get our big toys in there.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to the big toys because you got a lot of those too. How long have you guys been full-timing?
3.5 years now.
3.5 years.
Yes. May 1st, 2016, we pulled the kids out of school and we moved out of our house, and that's.
So they were fairly young at that point.
Yes. So my son they were in public school. My son only knows kindergarten, and then they were in 4th and 2nd grade.
And so you homeschool?
Yes.
What program do you use?
We use a program called Monarch, and it's all computer based. So that does their science, history, language arts, mathematics, Bible, and they actually do their writing through there. And then we add in other stuff, of course, field trips all over the country. All the zoos, aquariums, science museums.
You're getting that.
Everything you can imagine. And then they just do, we'll do special projects like, studying the states, and they'll draw maps and just to make sure they're still writing. And, they like to do a lot of arts and crafts. And so they add stuff in on their own. My oldest daughter decided she wanted to learn Japanese, which I have no idea about.
Wow.
So she's studying her Japanese alphabet on her own.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I know a few words in Japan. I spent a month in Japan.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so I know a little bit.
See, she doesn't know how to speak it yet, but I told her if she kept practicing the alphabet.
It's a hard language.
That I would pay for lessons,
That's
she's
great.
got to stick to it.
That's awesome. How do your kids like the homeschooling?
It's hard to know with kids. One day we have a really great day and they love it. When we're doing field trips, they love it. When I remind them that they're only in school for a couple hours a day, they love it. But then they get to hard subjects, and we do a more traditional schooling than a lot of families we meet do. So, like my daughter's doing algebra right now. She hates it.
Oh,
but
well, we all do.
Yeah.
We all did.
I think they enjoy it, and especially the freedom that it lets us. We talk about if we go back to school, we can't, when it gets cold, we can't leave. When it rains, we can't leave, you know? So there's pros and cons, and I try to remind them of that. And I think overall they would say I've asked them if they want to go back to school. Most of the time they say no. So.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, do you think there's a difference between the kids that are homeschooled versus those who go to public schools?
Yes.
And what do you think
I
that
do.
is?
So, just for example, we went to the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff. If you haven't been, you should go. But they did a fantastic show for the kids with science experiments and stuff. And these kids, we were with 5 families, were asking questions about this, the planets and the science experiments that I didn't even know, and I was just floored. And all of them were brave, putting their hands up in the air and talking and just interacting, and they all sat quietly, and it was just, I was so proud of them all. And the other big difference I see is that they're not just hanging out with kids their own age. So they'll be friends with, my 14-year-old will befriend, a 7-year-old, if she needs help with something. And they can interact with all sorts of people because that's who they're surrounded by. Not just a bunch of 12-year-olds.
I didn't even realize you had 3 kids and 3 dogs.
Oh, really?
I mean, we're really close next to
Yeah.
you, and I thought they're so polite, they're so quiet, they're
Good.
they're doing their thing, and it's like, oh, hey, they got like 3 kids and 3 dogs, and it's like, I gotta check these guys out.
Well, good. I'm so glad because I always worry about the noise because we do get a little loud sometimes, but they like to have fun and.
So do 2 of us old people do. Let's see. Let me look at my list of questions here. Kind of bouncing around just a little bit. How many states have you guys been to? Do you know about how many?
I would guess 30.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't counted in a while. Unfortunately, we started out in the East Coast, and we did a year and a half out there, but we didn't plan to come west right away, so we skipped a whole bunch of states. So, we'll do that later. And then we got out west, and everybody said this was going to happen. When you go out west, you're not going to want to come back, and we don't want to go back.
Oh.
But so.
And you're from where originally?
Virginia.
Virginia.
And New York and Virginia. The kids were born in Virginia. My husband's from North Carolina, so he and I have done the East Coast. But the kids have missed Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful states.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do hope to go back and do those.
That'll be fun. You'll
Yeah,
have time.
I know.
Speaking of your kids, how do they make friends at a campground? Because how long do you normally stay in a campground?
We try to stay a minimum of 2 weeks. If I'm moving them once a week, we all get really tired. Here we stayed a month because friends showed up.
Oh.
So there's a group online called Full-Time Families. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a paid membership group. They have a Facebook page, and then there's a paid membership group, which puts you in other Facebook groups. So there's like one for the Southwest, one for the Northwest, Northeast, and so we plan meetups. So when we're leaving here, we're going to Palm Springs. There's about 10 families there.
Oh.
All new to us,
Oh.
but we have a potluck planned,
Uh-huh.
so they can all get to meet, and then we'll meet up at the pools, and they get to know each other. We plan hikes, but basically we keep in touch on social media and go out of our way to meet up with friends.
So they'll see some of their same friends multiple times throughout the year then.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
On the West Coast, we have to make more of an effort because it's so spread out and everything's. On the East Coast, if you stay in the Thousand Trails, we just bump into people all the
Ah.
time.
I would think it'd be easier for the little kids because they just run around than it would be for your daughter's going to be 14.
Yes, that is something that we are having to put more of a focused effort on because you're right. The little kids just go to the playground. Hi, you're 6. Oh, good, we're best friends. Whereas the 14-year-olds, not so much. So we do have to put more effort to meet up with families, and there's not as many teenagers. So we have to put more effort into
Yeah,
that.
that's true because they'd all be homeschooled as well. And okay. Let's see, what do I got in here? What do you do for work? You both work, right?
We do.
Okay.
We are a very unusual situation. We own a construction company back in Virginia. Fortunately, I have a brother who also owns half the company who's back in Virginia, so he runs the other half. My husband does the estimating, and then I do the paperwork.
Oh.
So payroll, taxes, we do a lot of government work, so there's lots of government paperwork, contracts, all that stuff. And it keeps me very busy.
So you're just on the computer and telephone
All day.
all day? All day?
Well, no. I try to work so that I can get out when the kids are finishing up school. So I try to be done around 2, but then I spread it out through the weekend to make up for the time I miss. So I still put in a typical 40-hour work week or close to it, but I try to maneuver it around keeping them occupied.
I can imagine. That's a lot to do. and with having all the kids. One thing I wanted to ask you is, what made you decide to go full time to begin with?
Oh, so many things. Just so many things. It was, we went through a tough financial situation in 2010 when everybody did. And, you know, everybody did.
Especially in construction.
Yes. Well, and we had a trucking company too.
Oh.
So it was like a double whammy. So we were very fearful. You know, things got better, but we were very fearful of that. And getting out of debt was a huge thing for us. And we're pretty much debt free right now. I might owe a little bit on a credit card.
So it's worked out.
Yes.
So, because one of the questions somebody had is it financially feasible for you living out of an RV?
Well, I'm not going to say that. It, that's a hard question to answer. So, it is cheaper than having our big house with a mortgage. Okay,
Yeah.
it is cheaper
Yeah.
than that. But sometimes, if we're staying like at Yellowstone, I can spend a mortgage payment just in RV spots for a month.
Oh, sure.
So we offset it, and then we go stay in the Thousand Trails, which are, you know, free, and then our expenses are the same. We have the food and the clothes, and but our utilities are next to nothing in the campgrounds. So,
Yep.
we go to California, and my groceries are more, my gas is more, you know, so it's different every month, really. So we try and offset that, and kind of, you know. So, but for us, it was financially feasible for us, and we're, like I said, we're out of debt, and
That's a good place to
it's
be.
huge. You know, we talk about maybe settling down again. I'm like, oh, but I really don't like the idea of having another mortgage. I just don't.
You said you came from a big house. Now, do you find it difficult that many people working in there,
No.
going to school in there?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I would live in my RV forever.
Oh,
I would.
that's awesome.
So even if we settle down, it would be tiny. I'm a horrible housekeeper. I don't like to do it. I kick the kids out. You know how cranky mom gets when it's just time to clean. So I love our tiny house. I'm not going to say we don't get on each other's nerves, but if we do, we go outside and we go on a hike, and then everybody feels better, and it's wonderful. We all have headphones if
If you need to tune out.
Yeah. But no, I love our tiny house.
Well, then I was going to ask you, what do you like about this lifestyle? Obviously, that's one of them. Is there anything else in particular that you like about it?
Just seeing the country. I mean, it's such a beautiful, amazing country. We like to hike. We like to play in the lakes, the rivers. We four-wheel ride. You know, we've done all of the big parks, Disney, Busch Gardens. I think we've hit 50 children's museums. I mean, it's just, I'm probably off on the numbers. I've never counted, but I feel like we hit them all, every place we go.
Well, then I have to ask you, what don't you like about living this lifestyle?
So every once in a while you get to a campground and you never know what to expect. And so as the years have progressed, we have gotten better at just rolling with the punches. But like for right now, I'm nervous because we're going to Palm Desert, Thousand Trails. Have you been there? It's very tiny. Like the spots are tiny, and I'm worried about fitting.
You're how long are you? 45 feet?
45.
Yeah.
So
Plus you have two
So we have the big
Dodge
truck.
Rams?
Yeah, and then my little baby Dodge carries the four-wheeler. So what we have done, we can pay for off-site storage for our toys, and it's not much. So we've done that before. So, but I get a little apprehensive about that, and it's something I really have to focus on. Just
It's probably the only dislike then. It's just like, we going to fit in there?
yeah, I get very
All our
nervous.
toys.
And I get anxious, and I have to really focus on just relax. Either way, it's going to be okay. You know, it's very important to my husband that he gets satellite for football. And so if we get to a spot and he can't get satellite, it's, you know,
The world's coming to an end.
yeah. And then, you know, everything's fine, and it always works out, but it's just, that's probably my hardest part.
Okay.
So,
Do you have a routine with your kids, like certain chores or time of day that you think have to happen, or when you go to move, or is there any
Yes.
routines?
yes, and I think with the homeschooling, the routine is really important because I even find myself, like, after Christmas break or something like that, I have a hard time getting back into the routine, and, oh gosh, I don't want to do school today. It's so much easier for me to work when they're not doing the schoolwork and talking my ear off, you know what I mean? So it's very important we stay with the routine. We do school almost year-round. I do give them a little bit of a summer break, but not long because we'll fall out of our routine. They get up and they do whatever they want in the morning. 9 o'clock, their video games and TV, whatever they're doing, shuts off. They eat, start school, and they're usually done. If they buckle down, they could be done because they've done it by noon. But most days they drag it out till 1 or 2 o'clock.
Oh.
And then we try to do a field trip or something. They do have chores every day. They do dishes and feed the pets and garbage and put their own clothes away. When we pack, the girls have to do, because their table has to come out and all their toys need to be moved around. So they do in their room entirely. My son doesn't have much to do because he doesn't have to move any of his stuff. So he loads the car and gets out of our way so we don't trip over him. And then, you know, just, I think normal stuff, you know, that they would do in a home.
Okay.
The only thing we don't have to do is mow grass and
Yeah.
clean all the pools we get to play in and, you know, all that
That's
stuff.
true. That's true. You know, you guys boondock too, right?
Yes, we love boondocking.
And how long do you boondock at a time?
So we have done it for weeks at a time, but it just got to be too much work. So we have a big 50-gallon drum that we can carry extra water.
Okay.
And then we have a blue boy to dump.
Yeah.
But it's really just a lot of work. So ideally, we're about 5 days out and then into a campground to dump, flush, you know, all that good stuff. Take nice long showers.
I was wondering, you know, with gray water and taking showers, well, when you're boondocking, you usually don't take as many showers. You know, the black water. And I was wondering how you guys could do that with 5 people. And you can go up to 5 days without?
5 days. And my husband and I shower every day, but it's, you know, 30-second wet, you know.
Wet, soap up,
rinse.
then rinse. Yeah.
And the girls have to take showers every other day. My son, he might go the whole week.
Yeah.
Some days, I don't know. But when he starts to sink, he gets in the shower. He's only 9. It's different. Wet wipes still work on him.
And you get enough hot water?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
We
good.
do, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was interested. You got a 50-gallon of fresh water that you take with you then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we haven't been using that lately. So for the 5 days, we don't have to use that.
Oh.
We have enough water.
You have a Cyclone?
Yes.
HD?
4,000,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
We'll just do a little pan on the outside here
Okay.
because we got to get to talk about your toys here in a minute too.
Okay.
Another question I had was, how do you get any alone time? Do you guys have date night or anything?
Yeah. So, game changer, when my daughter turned 13 and we have a babysitter. We have a built-in babysitter now. One of the biggest complaints I hear is parents, because you don't know people well enough to hire a babysitter. So, we're meeting up. It's a funny story. We're meeting up with all these families in Palm Springs who have little kids, and they found out I had a 14-year-old. They're like, did she babysit? And everybody's like, oh, she's got a lot of money this week. Very excited. So, yes, we actually do. I kind of am embarrassed about some of the weeks we have so many date nights because we like to ride our four-wheeler, we like to ride our motorcycle, we like to go out to dinner. So, yes, we do at least a couple date nights.
So prior to her turning 13, then
It was a little bit harder. A little bit harder.
a little nicer to have a little alone time now.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, now you have, I think I've got everybody's questions in here. You have a lot of toys. Tell us about the toys that you have.
Okay, so when we were on the East Coast, we towed a boat. I don't remember how long it was or anything about it, but we went up and down the East Coast in the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico. We all 5 Great Lakes,
Oh, my.
and swam and fished. My husband loves to fish, but when we left Florida, we didn't see a point in bringing it out here. I'm not going to say we don't miss it because we do, but when we got out west and we found all the riding, we started with a sand rail, which is like a dune buggy just for sand. And then we got to the desert and we're like, oh, this is really cool. So we got 4-wheelers for the kids. And then my husband just had a birthday, so he bought another 4-wheeler for himself. So now I have a 35-ish foot trailer with a sand rail. You can show them if you want.
Okay.
Some 4-wheelers. And then in the back of our toy hauler, we have our motorcycle and another 4-wheeler.
So you have how many 4-wheelers?
4.
4 4-wheelers, a motorcycle,
And a dune buggy.
and a dune buggy.
Yeah.
And bicycles too?
So we used to carry bicycles, but this is another funny story. You can cut this if you want. But so we had 5 bicycles, and we had them on a bike rack on the back of my truck. So my truck, the bike rack, and then the big trailer.
Okay.
My husband got tired of unloading the bikes. Like if you're out in the desert, you don't need the bikes, and but you couldn't get in the back of my truck. So he welded them on the bike rack onto the big trailer that holds all the toys. But he welded while we were boondocking, not realizing the welder wasn't getting full power. So the welds did not hold. So the funny part about this story is, so we're out in the middle of the desert. We pull off into the highway, and the bikes just flip over, like out in the middle of the road, and it's like a huge disaster. And my husband's gone, and so I pull over, and they were all tangled up, and I couldn't quite get it. And up pulls, we're in California, up pulls somebody we camped next to in Arizona a month ago. And they're like, hey, do you need help? And so I'm like, yes, thank you very much. He helps me get them off the side. A few minutes later, my phone rings. Did we just see your bikes?
Oh, no.
And somebody else we knew is like, do you want us to stop and get them? And I was like, no. And then a month later, we run into friends. We're like, oh, we heard about your bikes. And so it's such a small world. And so we did not replace all the bikes because the only person that missed it was my son. So we do carry a bike for him. But
good.
it was funny. Yeah, banged up my tailgate. It was just, I mean,
Oh.
it went like, I'm
It's so
just
funny,
lucky
all
nobody
these
got
people
hurt.
recognized
I
you.
know, I know. And, but nobody was hurt. So
There was one more question that somebody wanted to know is where do you find the patience? And from what I'm hearing from you, it's not like you need that much patience. You got it all down pat.
well, I feel like we do. The truth is, I really enjoy spending time with my kids. The only time I find I'm losing my patience is when is with my work. So I'm getting frustrated with my work, just like anybody does, and then my kids need my attention. I think that's the only time I really have to work on my patience, is I have to take a deep breath and be like, it's not their fault. They need help with questions right now while I'm having a hard time at
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And so that's where other than that though, I really enjoy it, you know?
And I notice Roger has lots of tools, and he appears to be very handy.
Yes. Which we could not do this if he wasn't, because we have had some major breakdowns. Like I could do a whole episode with you on
Oh.
breakdowns. But yes, we have had to weld our axle back on in the Dillard's parking lot on a Saturday night at 9 o'clock. We have had tire blowouts, and our previous trailer caught on fire going down the highway. So many breakdowns, and again, it's just you take a deep breath and you just gotta
Go with the punches
you
and
gotta roll with it,
Yep.
because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You just gotta, and like I said, we wouldn't be able to do this if he couldn't fix everything, because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, your husband's handy, right?
Oh yeah, very handy.
I mean, I think most people in this lifestyle are, because the RVs break a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah, yep. Got to have all the tools with you.
Yes.
Is there anything else you can think of that people might want to know about you and your family that I haven't thought of?
Well, so I would like to go back to the one question where you asked me why we did this. And I basically focused on the financial part, and then we moved on. There was a lot more to it than that. It was, getting out of debt was a big thing, but then we weren't happy with the kids' school.
Okay.
So that was a big part of it. And then, just trying to remember back, we'd, go on a vacation and didn't want to go home. And I mean, I know it's vacation, but we just, really didn't want to go back to that big house anymore. We wanted to get out and see the country while we were young. And then right before, when we just started thinking about it, we met a man. He was an older man, and we were pulling out off one of our vacations, and Roger got out and he needed some help, so Roger helped him. And he had this really sad story about how he was just getting ready to retire, and they were going full time, him and his wife, and his wife died. And he said to us, "Don't wait." And that really, it was that one moment where like, we don't know, we're not promised anything. And then his mom got sick very young. My grandmother got sick. They were both 72, and died. And we were like, wow, he's 52. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really, kind of an eye-opening thing. You're not promised forever, and you need to enjoy it.
I hear that from a lot of people. When you say, "Is there anything you do differently?" I would have done it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
You were a lot younger.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I do have that regret. I didn't know about it back then. I'm not sure we could have done it too much earlier, because the internet wasn't what it is now. And,
True.
But yeah, I mean, I see these people out here with the real young kids, and I'm like, gosh,
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's it.
Do you think anybody might want to talk to me?
Madison, you want to come talk for a minute?
Sure.
Get one more in here. We will flip over.
She's a tiny little thing. She'll be like, sit right here.
Hi,
Just be
Madison.
careful you don't tip us over.
Obviously, we're recording here, and you just turned 14, or you're going to be 14?
Oh, no, this is my younger one.
Oh, you're the younger one. I can't tell. I don't have any kids.
That's okay. She's almost 12.
Oh, 12. Okay. So what grade are you in?
6th.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't look at me, you know.
Hey, look in there.
Yeah.
And how you like being homeschooled?
I like it a lot.
What?
I get a lot more time to play outside with my friends, and yeah, it's really cool. It's
Do you see some of the friends more than once? When you're traveling around, do you get to catch up with them?
I get to see lots of them.
That's good. That's what you need to be able to do. That's nice. Do you like getting to drive around and see places? And
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
what are some of the favorite places you've been to?
Skull Rock's the name of one, right?
In Joshua Tree.
Yeah, Skull Rock's one of my
Yeah,
favorite.
I haven't been there. I have to
really?
put that one on my bucket list, huh?
Yeah, Joshua Tree is pretty amazing. It's got some really, but she likes to rock climb.
Oh, well.
So
I got to get in the eye of the skull.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice. That had to be quite a ways up then. Oh, nice. So, you really enjoy traveling, living in an RV?
Yeah,
What's the best part of living in an RV?
Getting to meet all the different kids.
Oh, nice. What's the worst part?
I can't think of it.
Can't think of it. That's good.
You hate packing
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
well,
go.
yeah, we all pay. Every time we got to leave someplace, you got to pack everything up.
Yeah.
They don't nobody likes packing
Yeah.
moving day.
Every time we pack up, we have to clean a little bit.
Yes, yeah, it's like spring cleaning every time we move.
Oh, yeah.
But they're really good travelers. Like usually we try to keep our trips to about 4 to 5 hours, but sometimes things happen and there'll be a couple days, and they're really good travelers.
Good.
Which is, I think, important.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Are you one that saved the dog?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
You
That's
want,
what,
you want to bring Ellie Mae out?
yeah. Let's see Ellie Mae. Did she name her too?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was funny. All the kids were trying to catch this dog, and so her name at first was Nacho Dog,
Yeah.
because everybody's like, "We're not taking another dog." But we got her. This is our little Ellie Mae.
Oh, hi. You were in the desert a long time, weren't you? Aw.
Yes,
Still
and
need a haircut.
she's a hot mess, but we love her to death. And
She's a cutie. Her little short legs crack me up.
oh, she's so cute when she runs, and
Uh-huh.
her whole body wiggles, and yeah,
It's
she
hard
just-
to believe that poor little thing was left out in the desert.
yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing with me. Appreciate it. Let's go take a quick
Okay.
video of your toys and what you got your setup here. So, here we got the Dodge Ram already hooked up. What's the big tires for?
That goes on the sand rail. So those are the sand tires.
Okay.
Right now we have desert tires on it. You'll
Ah.
see they're different.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. So that's we're not going inside because it's moving day, so everything's
Yep.
packed up.
Yep.
But our room's up there, and then this is all from here to here is all living space. So it's a lot of living space right here. And then back here is all the kids' room.
That's nice. They got their own space like that.
And that was a really important part when we bought this too, is they have a real sliding door, so it's not one of those camper doors.
Oh, okay.
So it's complete separation.
Do they have a bathroom back there too?
They do not.
This is
I
ju-
wish
you have one bathroom?
One. That's the only. I wish we had a half bathroom. But so we can sit and watch TV in the living room, and they're in their room, and it doesn't interfere.
There's that happy dog. And you got all your toys over in another section right now,
Yeah,
don't
they're
you?
right behind us right now because we're
Oh,
moving.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going inside.
That's okay.
So both of you have to drive.
We do, which is fine. Both of us enjoy it. So yeah, this is just my truck.
All right, let's see. What do we? Maybe I should go on the other side.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe you get all these on here. It's awesome.
Yes. Well, we just bought the 4-wheeler here, so we were curious
Oh,
how that would work out, but it worked. So yeah, the kids all ride with me and some of the pets, and then so the 4-wheeler, and he and I ride that, and then the kids, and you can see it's filthy because we've been out in the desert. The kids each have one of those 4-wheelers.
Oh, you got three. Oh, the bicycles in between. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a bike in there, but the third 4-wheeler is in the camper.
Oh, in back of
So
the.
there's 3 of those
toy
little
hauler.
4-wheelers. And then this is the sand rail. It has desert tires on it now.
Okay.
But then the other tires so it can climb the sand dunes.
Okay.
So like
Sweet.
Florence, Oregon, Idaho.
You got quite the deal going on.
California's
You probably
got
have a lot of people look at you going down the road taking pictures and
You
stuff.
have no idea how many men drive by and they're like, hey. Yeah, so we have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I know you want to get back on the road, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. It was nice meeting
Oh,
you.
it was nice to meet you too.
You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, even if it's just to say hi. Don't forget to subscribe.